resolution before choosing internal peace.
You have been programmed. That's why you've got laws and a court system, a judicial system. And you have been told that any matter that needs to be resolved should be always looked upon from the judicial aspect, obeying the laws and the rules. And yes, those rules and those laws are put in place so that there is sort of like a baseline that you humans can look at things and resolve them on your own. But even with those baselines, those rules, if attention is being paid to your alignment and where you are vibrationally, you will find that the need for those rules tend to go away. For as you understand that what is coming back to you, whether it is exactly the same or an essence of an action or a thing, if you understand that that is being presented to you in your reality based on what you've decided to focus on for a period of time, then you would understand that anything coming back to you, whether it is just or unjust, can be modified, it can change. So if you see someone who is, let's for example say, stole something, you can look at it from two different perspectives. One can be it is unjust to the person that this stealing happened to. They did not warrant that action, but you have no idea what their focus of injustice was before this thing happened to them. That is why we would like to say, and we will be saying this for the first time in conversations with us, what others do is none of your business. For when you make what others do your business, you invite that vibration into your mix. And as you invite the vibration of what others are doing into your mix, you then create your point of focus, therefore creating your point of attraction, that point of coming back to you, that point of reality making. And as that happens, you will sometimes get what you do not want. So if this particular person has been focusing on injustices for a while, then this thing happens, then you can be assured that it didn't just happen randomly. It happened because of the point of attraction and point of focus. And you, if you are understanding that that is the reason why it happens, then as you look at this thing that others are calling unjust, it more or less will not affect you in the same way, because the vibration around the happening is not the same. It is not from a focus of injustice on your part. It would be just an observance because you understand the way things work. And usually in those instances, you will find that for those of you who understand the way things work, you will focus for very briefly on that particular thing and then move your attention onto something else. Some may deem it as being uncaring. Some may say, well, why aren't you paying attention to this thing that is unjust? We need to fight against it. But that particular person understands that by staying there and making that your point of focus, you will somehow attract the essence of what you are looking at. Another asking.
So I want this into perspective. Does it matter how strong the injustice is? And I just give you a quick example. Driving down the road and you come to a 2-lane from a 1-lane, a passing lane, and the person in the slow lane speeds up. And it feels like that's an injustice, right? But on the other hand, somebody who is raped, that's a different type of injustice. How, like, is there differences for different circumstances?
We will address this from an alignment standpoint, for everything is about alignment. There is no greater injustice or lesser injustice, but there is also, from our perspective, no injustice. therefore, as you align with who you really are, and you observe certain things, and you start to become aware of the way things actually works, and there is an attraction point that everyone has, where based on that attraction point there is a catalyst for an action or a reaction. And as each person gets to that point of focusing continuously on injustices, that point of attraction becomes one of injustice. So no matter where they look, no matter who they interact with, there will always be that element of injustice. And as they continue to stay within those parameters, the injustices become bigger and bigger and bigger until there is a consequence, meaning an action, a catalyst, something happening that shows you, if you are paying attention, that because you focused on this particular thing for such a long time, this happened. You cannot have an apple tree planted and it bears the fruit of an orange. Understood?
Understood.
So if that person who you said experienced the action of rape was not so fully committed into looking at injustices, whether it was outwardly or in their mind, then that negative thing would have had no cause but to come forward. And in that instance, we will also like to put forward that all of you are co-creators in realities. So you are not essentially an island unto yourself. So as you have those thoughts, you attract those that have the essence of those same thoughts. And as you attract those that have the essence, if the thoughts and the vibration are in harmony long enough, then there is that coming together of this thing that you deem as harmful or bad. But it is not, because law of attraction is at work, and it is a very powerful law, and it will draw to you exactly what you are emitting. Sometimes the injustices may not be exactly as you envision it, but there is the injustice coming back to you if you continue to focus on it. Another asking,